and Broadhead. You know, for me, I'm a massive fan. Very, very creative player. I was surprised that he's on the bench for what he brings. You know, I think if you look at the game last week, that everyone would have been really disappointed about. You know, I think got the goal. Probably should have had a couple more goals in that first 15-20 minutes last week, and then they kind of managed the game. But I think the concern, if you look at the stats, you know, I think it's you're looking at the XG, the worst XG, the lowest possession, and then they faced the most shots in the game as well, joint with Sheffield Wednesday. So they have to really kind of improve on that. But saying that, they lost 2 added time goals, you know, an absolutely worldly free kick from Manning. But then that's when they have to have that experience to see the game out and come away with something.
You know, they've got to keep everyone happy as well, though, Chris.
Well, that's the football, though, Faye, isn't it?
Absolutely. And so I think, you know, we talk a lot, don't we, over the last couple of years about it being a squad game. You've got to utilise that squad. So actually, I think, you know, maybe upsetting the apple cart a little bit by putting Nathan in straight away to start isn't worth it. Phil Parkinson is a smart man, and he's been around for a very long time, and he knows that he's going to have to manage expectations with this Wrexham side, bearing in mind what they've achieved over the past few years, but also knowing the kind of characters and stars and squad that he's had to build because they want to keep progressing. He also has to manage egos a little bit as well, which, as a former striker, how tricky is that for a manager? Well,
it's massive, but you've hit the nail on the head. They were in talks with some big players in this summer, and some of these players wouldn't sign because Wrexham don't have a training ground. So Phil Parkinson was saying, well, you know what, in hindsight, I'm delighted that they haven't signed because that's not what we want. And you said about culture, that's exactly it. These players that come in and they expect this, they expect that. It's still a little bit rough and ready. You know, even the media room. It's everything about it. Now the club has so much potential, but that's where they want to be, and you have to bring in the right characters as well. You know, and that's why the likes of Connor Cody's walk through the door, Lewis O'Brien, even Josh Windass. You know, he's a bubbly character. He's someone that he's got the qualities on the pitch, but he's gonna mix with that culture. He's gonna come in and feel at home straight away, but he has to deliver on the pitch. Kiefer Moore as well, a fantastic character to be around. So Phil Parkinson, someone that I know, he brought me back to English football, Face, someone that I got promoted with. I know him very well, a fantastic man, and I say his man management is second to none. But he understands responsibility that a dressing room has to be able to govern itself.
Without a doubt. And when you've got the likes of Connor Cody in there, he is that kind of leadership character that's gonna be the gel that brings it all together. It's interesting that you mentioned that some of the racecourse ground hasn't necessarily been updated, but actually they have done quite a bit of work because they're looking further ahead, aren't they, in terms of rugby league matches potentially being played there in the future, Wales football international matches coming back for the first time in decades as well. This is the first game at this level in 43 years. And what is the racecourse ground looking like at the minute? Because I know that they've installed a new UEFA standard hybrid pitch as well.
No, it's looking fantastic. What they say, that the pitch is outstanding. Obviously, you have the 3 stands. You see all this, like you say, the media buses, the cars, and the car park to the left. But like you say, there's so much potential. But it's such a well-run club, and they know exactly where they want to be. And it's all about bringing money into the club as well, so that can be reinvested into the club. And that's where they're getting it exactly right with sponsorships and everything like that. That they can go and compete with wages. They can bring a certain calibre of player there. Not only is it a football club, but it's got such an amazing story as well in the background, and that is something that a lot of players want to be part of as well. Yeah, interesting to see what the rest of the Championship clubs are going to be thinking about this as well, because I'm just looking up at my screen at the moment, and Rob McElhenney, Wrexham co-chairman, and along with Hollywood star Ryan Reynolds, who of course have put in so much investment and time and effort into bringing Wrexham into where they are. They are always the focus when it comes to this club, obviously. But do you think the pressure, and actually I'd like to ask Adam this before we hear from Phil Parkinson, do you get the sense, Adam, that A, they're starting to kind of outgrow their surroundings a little bit, but B, the expectation that is on this club is slightly unrealistic at this point?
Yeah, very much so. In fact, the media manager here said to me today, can you just bear with us, because we are kind of outgrowing what we've got here. You know, you've got 2 live TV broadcasts, There's the chaos that always comes with those who are following the story of Wrexham for the documentary series and everything like that. So everywhere is kind of congested. Every gangway is too small for the amount of people that need to move along it. Everyone has to step to one side just to try and get everyone through and everyone to move around the stadium. It is, as Chris was saying, away to our left-hand side, there is no stand this year. There was a temporary stand last year, but now they need it for TV crews, etc., and all the rest of it. So I think from a logistical point of view, it's becoming tricky because you just don't expect clubs to grow and develop in the manner they have as quickly as they have. Usually clubs get promoted, a couple of seasons promoted again, but it's all happening so quickly here. It's really hard from a practical perspective to keep up.
Yeah.
And then you get to be on the pitch. And it's the same with Wrexham and Birmingham. Both clubs, everyone's going, well, hang on a minute, they can do it again. But can they realistically? Can they settle in to life in this championship? Because it is another step up. It is another world. Ipswich are one of the few teams that have done it successfully recently. And I wonder if that's the bit that might be lacking. And just to go back on Nathan Broadhead, I think one of the reasons that he's been brought to this football club, because he doesn't fit Phil Parkinson's usual 3-5-2 system. However, that could be the next development. In pre-season, they played with 2 number 10s behind a striker, and I think Phil is knowing he needs to have options this season if they're going to be successful in this division.
Without a doubt. And speaking of Phil Parkinson, what he has said is that their home form is going to be absolutely vital, and he's hoping that his side can bring last season's excellent home form into this league.
It was more of a kind of desire and the attitude and the spirit that the supporters showed and the players. And that was great for the new players to say, wow, it's a great place to play. This is what we're all about. Can we create an intensity tomorrow against West Brom? And so that was a good kind of benchmark for us, a good reset into how we've got to play at home, how we've got to be strong right to the end of every game, never giving up, always believing. Can the subs impact the game, which they did. And they're going to be key. I think especially at the start of the season, the bench is really important because players are still getting used to the season again. And the lads who came off the bench made a difference the other night.
Yep, they certainly did. And then, of course, they've got Nathan Broadhead to be able to come off the bench today. It's going to be fascinating to see how Wrexham do in their first home game in charge. Last question for you, Chris, and it's a very short one. What's the weather like in Wrexham?
Yeah, well, I think me and Adam will both undercooked it. He's telling me how hot it's going to be, and I'm in my shorts, but it is overcast at the minute.
On Tuesday night, Faye, me and Courtney were here and we're in the front row and we were sweating.
I was listening to you.
Yes. So we did decide that today, between us, we would both come in our shorts and the sun's not out.
Oh, it's always the way, though, isn't it? You see, this is where layers come into play. You've worked in football for long enough, Adam Bridge, to know that you need to have a whole bag full of clothes to change into or take off.
This is very true.
Lesson learnt. And there is a reason why I'm asking this. If you don't usually tune into us on a Saturday afternoon, it is time for us to get a quick weather report on TalkSport 2, and it's all thanks to QuickFit.
TalkSport 2 Weather Report with QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
So at 12:30 in the Premier League, it's Aston Villa against Newcastle. Reshman Chowdhury, Sam Matterface, Gabby Agbonlahor and former England captain Stuart Pearce, what a lineup that is, by the way, are all at Villa Park currently. Sunny intervals and a gentle breeze there this afternoon, highs of 25 degrees. At 3 o'clock here on TalkSport 2, it's Blackburn-Birmingham from the Championship, highs of 23 degrees in the northwest. Sunny day up there. And finally at 5:30, back to the Premier League as Wolves take on Manchester City. We'll have updates for you on TalkSport. Plenty of sunshine in Wolverhampton, highs of 25 degrees there, just a light breeze as well. Perfect Saturday for football in August, I would say. That was today's weather report. It was brought to you by QuickFit, with over 600 centres across the UK, most of which open 7 days a week. They are always there when you need them.
TalkSport 2 Weather Report with QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
Right, we'll focus on the visitors, West Brom, next, and get all the latest odds building up to kick-off here on TalkSport 2.
Online, on DAB+, and on the app.
This is TalkSport 2. This weekend, TalkSport's morning conquest continues with another Breakfast of Champions. The weekend sports breakfast with NordVPN. Wake up and smell the match day on the UK's fastest and most well-connected football news network. Make sure you're match fit ahead of all the action with analysis that takes you behind the scenes of all the teams. The Weekend Sports Breakfast, tomorrow morning from 6 on TalkSport with NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day. Find out more at nordvpn.com/talksport.
Does the thought of renewing your travel insurance weigh you down? Does it make you feel like you want to bang your head against a brick wall? Why not use Confused.com and feel more like a balloon? A balloon in the shape of a person who's no longer weighed down by travel insurance. And balloons don't have a nervous system, so they feel no pain. Travel insurance feels better when you've just used Confused.